Hi, I'm Noel and welcome to the June update on my greenhouse. Well, we've just come through the sunniest May on record and the driest, not that that makes much difference in here, and the plants have all loved it. They've been flowering like nobody's business and they've been growing really well too. Probably the only good thing that I can say has come out of lockdown for me is the fact that I've been working at home and I've been able to see everything that's been going on here. Under normal circumstances, the flowers haven't opened by the time I leave for work and they've closed again by the time I get back. So I've been able to see everything going on and I've really enjoyed that aspect of it. So what we'll do today is I'll do a couple of video snapshots of what's going on in here. One from 3 weeks ago and one from today, and that'll also give an idea of what's coming up in the next few weeks. Then I'll show you the beginnings of my lithops collection, which includes the seedlings that I've grown this year, which I'm quite excited about, so you may not be, but there you go. And then we'll finish up with a gallery as usual. So come a bit closer and we can see what's going on in here. Over towards the back there, my Mammillaria bombacina has finished flowering now, but this little Rebutia heliosa gave me a really good display, and next to him the Hoffmanii, which I grew from a cutting. That's the first flowers I've had on him, so really pleased. And then these other Rebutias here, they're doing nicely. And back there we've got Sempervivum, which looks like it's going to be absolutely plastered in flowers. There's one coming out at the back and that's looking very nice. And moving on round, this chap here, you can see he's got a nice little rosette of flowers on, so he's going to do well, I think. This Rebutia pygmaea has given me a beautiful display, but he's almost over now, which is sad to see. But over towards the back there we've got this lovely Mammillaria prolifera that's just starting to come out, and just to the right of him there's a hairy Mammillaria of some sort that's doing nicely. And then we've got our Spinosissimo, which is carrying on blooming. He's been going for weeks now. And our Rebutia down here has still got a good show. He keeps on going as well, as does this Echinophosulo cactus. He's doing remarkably well. And then this fantastic Rebutia perplexa, which last time I showed you it was just buds and now it's really coming out into its own. I had the surprise of my life when this Sulco Rebutia came out. Gorgeous flowers on that, never seen those before. And going round, we've had a really good display off that Mammillaria schwartzii, which is over now, and this Labivia is sadly over as well. And over here we've got this lovely Gymnocalycium and a couple of Mammillarias that are doing very nicely. The one on the right has only flowered for the first time this year. This Euphorbia's starting to look really nice now, but there's plenty of buds on there, so still a long way to go. So we're just coming into the middle of June now, and a lot of the flowers are over, but we've got plenty to come. As you can see here, this Echinocerius, he's got a couple of flowers on. Haven't seen him bloom before, so really looking forward to that. Our little Rebutias, a few odd flowers left on them. This little Echinocerius fitchii, sad looking individual, but he's had one flower so far and a couple more to go. Now over here I'm really pleased that I've managed to identify this one. It came to me labelled as an Echinopsis, which clearly it wasn't, and it's taken me 18 months to discover that it's actually a Matacana polkii. So I'm rather happy to have that one named now. So our two hairy clumps of mammillaria over there are carrying on blooming. There seems to be no stopping them, they're doing very well. And down here we've got some gymnocalyciums, which you can see they're just about to burst through. I think the one on the right I missed opening today. He looks like he's got a lovely white flower to him. The Echinopsis, they've had their first few flowers on them. Sadly we haven't got any to show you today, but there's some pictures in the gallery. And round this side you can see at the back there the gymnocalyciums have all got flower buds coming on them. At the front are two little Rebutia clumps growing well, but they've finished flowering now. And our trays of seeds round here are looking good. And up on the top shelf, nothing desperately exciting. We've got some flower buds coming in the middle of that Nota cactus there. We've got some buds on the top of that gymnocalycium, but what is exciting to me anyway is this one here. That's the son of him, and he's doing absolutely fantastically. I took him as a tiny offset beginning of last year, and I'm really pleased to see he's got some flowers coming up. And round here the Stapelia is doing well. He's got his first flower on him that you can just see there. And over here we've got a Rebutia minuscula that's got loads of buds on him, so he's going to be looking good in a couple of weeks time. And further on round an Echinopsis, and next to him a little gymnocalycium, and then you can see lovely aloe flower here, which is from my aloe DZ. Very pleased about that. And our Parodia here, he's almost finished flowering. He's done really well, had a number of flushes of flowers, got about 3 more buds left to go. And round here, I suppose the only other thing to mention is this little Rebutia heliosa, which you can see there. He's got some offsets coming on him, so hopefully he'll clump up, and this time next year I'll have a nice little clump for him. And down on the bottom shelf here you can see my trays of young plants are all coming on very well. They're looking good. Few odds and ends over there in the corner, doing nicely. My Compton carousel over here seems to be trying to grow himself out of the pot. He's coming on great guns. And round here we've got some more trays of seedlings. You can see the Stapelias at the back there. They're growing fantastically well. And a couple more bits and pieces in the corner there. So that's the progress in the greenhouse this year. So move on to the lithops now. And I bought a few different pots from the garden centre at various times last year when I spotted them. And I potted them all up at the beginning of this year, and they seem to be doing quite well. This was some fulviceps, I believe. And these ones were in a little 2-inch pot squeezed in. So I planted them out and gave them a good bit of space, and they seem to be doing well. No idea what they are, but I've put lettering on the labels just to identify what goes with what. These ones obviously aren't lithops, but you can see what they are. I won't try and pronounce them. And since I planted them out and started watering them, they've shot up, and the two in the front look a bit sad, but hopefully they'll survive and next year look a bit happier. This is some rather nice looking ones, but again I've no idea what they are, but they're growing well. At Christmas my mum bought me these two lithops from Wisley Garden Centre, and they had dead flowers on at the time, but when I cleared them off in the spring, you can see to my delight that there was a seed pod on this one, so you can see what I'll be growing this winter. And these two came from the BCSS presentation that we had on lithops at the beginning of the year, from some of the ones that the presenter was selling. And this was a bowl of ones that I bought at the beginning of last year from the garden centre. They were in a little pot, so I put them into the bowl and they did very nicely, overwintered in the greenhouse, and they were watered about a week ago, and they plumped up very well, looking very happy there. And these ones again I bought 2 years ago, but you can see down the bottom at the front there, two of them have turned into double headers, and one up the top. So that one up the top, I'm just waiting for him to absorb his outer leaves a little more, and then I'll give them the first watering of the year, but they're looking pretty good. Then these ones are seeds that I planted beginning of last year, which have done very well. So these are Leslie here, and on this side we've got Carus Montana red tops that are doing quite well. But you'll notice that on the front left of the tray there's an empty space, and these bad boys were in there. But when I started watering at the beginning of this year, they were just growing so rapidly. They were outgrowing the seed tray and needed more depth, so I planted them out into pots, and they're looking fantastically good. And this is the seeds that I have from the BCSS seed distribution list this year, which I planted pretty early in the year, and they've done really well. I only have one pot that nothing came up on, but you can see that in general there's a good result from them, and there's a few here that are my sort of favourite ones that have come up. Really good looking little lithops, and yeah, I'm looking forward to them growing well during the year. At our March BCSS meeting, which was the final one before lockdown, Mike gave us a fantastic demonstration of the baggy method of growing seeds. So I rushed home, got myself some more lithop seeds and tried it as a comparison, and the results that I've had have been really good. I've probably had about 30% more come up using that method than growing in a propagator, so they've done really well. And here's a comparison that the ones on the left were grown in the propagator starting in January, and the ones on the right were grown using baggy method starting in March. And finally, this is a pot that I got a couple of weeks ago from the garden centre, so I'll wait till they've fully dried out and I'll pot them all up, give them a bit more space.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, and we've got the gallery coming up. As usual, I'd like to thank all the guys at the BCSS, and they have put on some really good presentations. Tuesday evening video presentations are fantastic, and apart from having experts showing their trips around the world, the most notable ones for me as a novice have been the presentation by Tony Roberts on propagating and growing cacti from seeds, which was really informative. Thank you, Tony. And also last week's presentation was Ask the Experts, a bit of a gardener's question time really, and that was very informative. So thank you guys for everything you've done, and as always, thanks to Derek and the guys at the Wiltshire branch. And stay safe, enjoy your cacti, enjoy your gardening, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.